Hey everyone, welcome back to the Corvids and Coffee podcast. My name is Liz. And I'm Tori. And today we're diving into Flow, the beautiful dialogue-free animated film to capture. And this is part one of a two-part series. We'll be covering the first half of the film for the flood, the Black Cat's journey, and the friendships starting to form. And we'll do part two later this week with Monica. So let's get into it. Tori, do you want to start us off with our Black Cat facts?
Yeah, so our Black Cat facts, because our main character of Flow is a Black Cat, or I guess Gray Cat, is that in Japanese folklore, Black Cats are actually good luck, which is like most people think Black Cat is bad luck. They're seen as a symbol of good fortune, especially for single women looking for love. So,
Western culture too, where they
Black
worship
Cats?
Black Cats.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh,
We're also watching in the background too. So right now at the part where the dog brings up the glass orb to the secretary bird, and the secretary bird kicks it, and then he brings it back again and he kicks it in the water.
So that's our fact.
Yes, yes. All right, today's coffee fact is a hometown one. Red Barn Coffee Roasters. That's actually one of Veronica's favorite coffee brands. It is in Upton, Mass, and was founded in 1997, the year we were born. And they focus on small batch roasting and sustainability. They even have a flow blend. How perfect is that for today's episode? Well, they have one at my old college at Birmingham State. They also have a few out near me. They have one, I think, over in Grafton.
Yeah.
There's one that
They're usually like, attached to places. I think we talked about that before.
I think so, because there's some, the one that I went to before, the time for the secretary. He's just like, why did you get rid of my glass orb? He's like, I liked up all the cat fell in the water. And capybara. Capybara. We love capybara. Actually, who's your favorite character so far?
I think Black Cat.
Honestly, the capybara.
The lemur, actually. The lemur's hilarious.
So chaotic.
No, I'm sorry.
The lemur is what we would call a material girl. What just fell from the sky, Lemon? I thought it was a potato for a second. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so the beginning of the story, the Black Cat lives kind of peacefully, a solitary life on his own.
I think it's nice house cat.
Well, yeah, it looks like he did have an owner in the beginning, but I think the owner's long gone. This is also set in a period where there are things like kind of just like glass and wood. There are some personal homes, but not really.
But we don't know the time.
So we don't really know the time frame exactly. No one mentioned that second part. But yeah, what did you think of? What was the impact on the beginning? Because there was the flood, which changed.
Yeah, definitely scary beginning, and also kind of like not dystopian. I guess like end of world kind of setting,
biblical flood kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was interesting. Beginning part. I'm saying it's sad that we don't get to see like beforehand. I kind of wish that they showed a little bit of that, but I guess it leaves a little bit more mystery.
What do you think of the statues and stuff we saw that were around?
Some of them were like a little bit like not foreshadowing, but like revealing of like time period or what happens. Actually, like it's like he passes by or the cat passes by, like a statue of a person with their hand out like they're drowning.
And it's a huge statue.
Yeah, the huge statue. You don't see any people, so it's kind of like what happened to people. It makes you think about like what happened before the flood, or if this is did everyone evacuate? Like, is there a place that all the humans went? Like something like that kind of makes you think.
And definitely forces him out of his home, so he ends up having to
leave everything. Yeah,
he hops on a boat with a capybara. Oh, and the whale comes out. And he's just like. He's like, I'm not getting that ball anymore. He's just like, fuck him. Capybara, he's the best. He's such a calm central figure of this movie, and I love it.
So the capybara is the one with the plan.
He's the one with the plan. He's steering the boat most of it. It's also funny because for the sound, for the animal sounds, they did use mostly all animal sounds, except for the capybara. They used a baby camel sound because they wanted something that contrasted with the characters who have a lot higher of a pitch. Because capybaras technically have like a higher squeaking kind of sound, so they use a baby camel. That's their good background for the sounds. And they even went to a zoo to actually get animal sounds for the film. The whale's kind of something out of like the future with like the way
or prehistoric.
We'll look at dinosaur. So yeah, let's look up what time period.
Yeah, that'll be our.
But yeah, but do you want to talk about when he meets each of the animals, like the capybara, the lemur, the lab?
Yeah, so he meets them all like differently. Okay, when I first saw it at the beginning of the film, I kind of thought it was like it's just like a Noah's Ark kind of thing, different animals coming together.
A friend of mine said that when I brought up the movie.
Yeah, it's like kind of like Noah's Ark because it's like end of worldish, but like only one of each animal. Like, this year, obviously, not each animal, just like random bunch of animals. It also kind of reminds me of like the pie.
Oh my god,
like the pie movie that connects to that. Like obviously, there's no human, but like animals being together in a sense, and like working together.
They do all those strategies in the labs, just like I want to copy the cat.
Yeah,
let's be friends. And also, Tori was saying how the dog reminds us of an old game we played on our Nintendo, if you all know.
Yes, anyway, it's interesting how they all meet. Yeah, the movie on dogs. Obviously, there's different personalities going on, and the cat's kind of cautious to even meet any of these animals. So first meets capybara, the one with the plant, and then the lemur joins them, and then the secretary bird.
The lemur's like meditating,
yoga or
and then
something.
the cat just like goes into
Playing
full
with the
kitten
tail.
mode.
So it's cute. They all got different personalities. They all kind of have to leave behind something. Like the cat's behind his home, the dog leaves behind his friends. Maybe on purpose, maybe not on purpose. We don't know. The lemur has to leave his family, journalistic family, which we'll probably get into. And then Secretary Bird obviously fights with his Secretary Bird family and gets like disowned to leave. So they're all kind of a bunch of misfits in a way, which I like. Kind of reminds me again of like the like pie kind of thing.
They're all good.
And also just
all
trying to
different
survive.
animals gathering together.
Like yeah, the different animals are like trying to survive.
Well, it's sort of like a found family sort of thing. So
Yeah.
they're all, and it's like they've all come together to survive this massive change, and they all have to learn to like kind of work together for teamwork. Because it's technically this little like permanent reflection. But yeah, they're definitely different. So let's see. So for that first half, what moment stood out to us the most in the first half? What would you say? Which moment?
Definitely like initially when the flood is still rising. The part with the lemurs, when the lemurs come in, the lemur is there with them. He's like pack up his stuff, but then they see his family a little bit of the other lemurs.
Oh my god!
And they don't really want anything to do with him. Because they're looking at like the stuff. He has a cool mirror, but then they're like, oh, this.
Oh, tell them what they were wearing.
They're all wearing like crowns and stuff, and like obviously they're like into like material things and like seeing what's the best thing, and they kind of just ditched him because they get the best thing.
Yeah, it's just like you don't have the goods that we want to see. Like,
Yeah,
so it's like we're not really interested.
Yeah.
And then I would say the film, with the fact that it's like it shows resilience even without dialogue, like how they survived this,
Yeah.
is very interesting. I would say, from based off of what I've seen so far, the capybara and the cat definitely show the most emotion to like, or kind of movements and emotions that really interact with the other animals, like the capybara getting the lemur to get on the boat. He helps him like actually pack up his little basket of trinkets, and then he grabs the trinket basket with his teeth to drag on the boat to get the lemur into the boat, which I thought was really smart. Trying to like just gather them all together, like
Yeah, capybara is
he's the mom slash dad. He's like, I need to make sure that, or she,
we don't actually don't know.
capybara is the parent, trying to make sure that nobody.
We don't.
No, they're just cat, capybara, secretary bird, lemur. Oh, and lab.
The lab, I feel like has to be important.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of golden retriever energy.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's collecting all the colorful fish.
I love the vibrance of this movie, because the vibrance of like the fish, and he learns how to swim better because of the capybara. So he's learning something from everyone. And now that he's not alone, he's kind of like learning to. He's just like right now he has the pile of fish that he collected, and he's learning to share it with others. Especially for like kind of like what the secretary bird did in the beginning, where he got a fish for the cat to show him, hey, like I mean no harm.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like a thank you for defending him, because the secretary bird earlier in the film was kind of disowned from his family, and he broke his wing as kind of like a punishment for siding with the cat, which is very sad. But now they're all together, and I think he's still very standoffish because of that incident, but the cat's like bringing over a fish to him right now.
Yeah, so it's kind of like teamwork and having to come together, even though some of these, like, well, I guess the cat mainly is the only one that was kind of a loner, and now having to learn to like live with these other animals.
And the animation of this film is just like
It's not like a video game.
it does remind me of a video game, and it's very like it's crazy to think, because I know a lot of
So
like
is this all like it's all programmed software engineered?
yes, so it's all open. It's from an open source program called Blender. It's been used for years by animators, and it's all free, which is amazing. And actually, I found out about it through work when I ended up having to install it for somebody. And when you go to the Blender, I installed it recently for my computer. I want to learn it. When you open up the Blender page, it shows the poster for the movie Flow, because that's kind of what like almost kind of brought it out into the open, being like, look at it. So let's talk about the different animals. If you want to cover, if we want to do like one then the other. If you want to talk about the black cat and what it represents.
So a bunch of different animals, obviously, like we said, different personalities. Like we said, the black cat definitely is like kind of a loner, like dependent on his own, but also it's like adaptability and able to like kind of adapt to different situations. Like the cat was smart enough to like leave its house.
Yeah.
Even when it got to its
He was
house.
very hesitant. He did.
Oh, it's interesting. Right now they're arguing with the bird to go save the dogs.
Because the dogs earlier in the
There's like
film,
other dog frienders.
and the cat's kind of like, well, we should help him. And it's like, actually, now joining him, the capybara and the dog be like, hey, like Secretary Bird, you need to turn the boat towards them. So he's just like, you know what, you guys can do it. Just letting them take over.
So much conversation. So little words.
The capybara,
And also, I think one other thing that the cat makes it stand out is that it's so cautious to like befriend and help other animals. Not help other animals, but like get close to them or trust them, versus the other animals are a little bit more trusting. The secretary bird's a little bit cautious, but it did like kind of risk its life for the bird.
And now he can't fly, so he's kind of almost grounded to the boat. For the capybara, he's definitely very patient and an emotional anchor for the group. He's like the rock of the group, kind of keeps everything together and keep everyone together. He's just the calmest amongst the storm. And he watches out for everyone.
Oh my god, there's the last dog on it? Oh my goodness.
He watches all of them and tries to make sure everyone gets along and works together. And the Labrador, Nintendo, very loyal, very helpful, and he's very optimistic. He's always trying to be like friendly with the other animals and show his openness to like be friends. What would you say about the lemur? Especially with the collecting, he stole the fish. One of the dogs just stole the fish. Yeah, this is the second time for me watching it. This is the first time Tori's watching the movie, and we also got her dad to watch the movie too. And Veronica's seen the film as well with her husband Chris, and it's such an amazing film. I think it's like just under 4 million for the budget. It's not as there wasn't as large of a budget for this movie.
Lemur.
I know the lemur
is hilarious. I think the lemur was just kind of a situation. The capybara sucks.
The capybara, I think, is drunk right now trying to drive.
The lemur definitely is more like curious, but also like not cautious, but like scared. I think because he's kind of one of the smaller animals on the boat.
One of the dogs, the Shiba Inu, just stole the lemur's prized possession of the old mirror.
Yeah,
and the hand mirror, and it's really like it's just chaos, and he broke it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just like, I'm done with these dogs. And the cat, we should never have taken them. But they were trying to do the right thing and like bring them on to be nice. And he's looking at the dog like, this is your fault. And the dog's just like, I didn't know they would be really friends. He's like, I just want us to all get along.
The secretary bird is definitely a little bit different than the rest of the group because it's quiet, like present, because it doesn't really interact too much with the other animals unless it needs to. And it's kind of more like stuck, I think, than the other animals.
It's definitely an interesting dynamic.
And now the other dogs.
Who would you say you relate to? You can also pick more than one character. Mm-hmm. I know it's a little harder because the main character is really amazing. I got so emotionally attached to the cat at the beginning, and then you're like no, and the cat was drowning. The whale saved.
Oh,
I think that was used to be their boat. They just found the dog's old boat, and it's like wrecked, which makes sense now why they're stranded. But yeah, who do you say you would relate to for characters?
I don't know. I guess capybara, trying to get everyone to get along together.
All the wrecked boats. But did make it through. I guess you could kind of do the wrecked boats as like failed journeys or like failed relationships. Like they could work together to get past it, so they ended up perishing. I mean, that sounds really good. I would say I'd like the lemur, the capybara, because I do collect a lot of trinkets, like pop figurines. I'm very I try not to be, but I end up being very materialistic with my things, so I do hoard a bit. And I would say I like the capybara, where I kind of like let things roll off my back for some situations. Like the past week, I spilled coffee in my car twice and on myself, but I was just like, it's whatever. And I was wearing black pants with some, but I was kind of like, it happens. It's like it's whatever. And I think I've gotten better with that over time. It's kind of like stuff roll off my back, where it's like it hasn't been. It just like it's like not letting it to me. As much. Also, why do you think the capybara has become such a fan favorite in this film?
I think because he also wants everyone to get along and wants everyone.
The steer of the boat just broke.
He like wants to be like kind of hopeful and keep everyone like, together. He's kind of like, and he also like got the lemur to come on, got the dog to come on. He helps the lemur. He
kind of showed that approach the capybara. The capybara approached the secretary bird, being like, "Hey, we're with you on this." Like,
yeah, trying to just keep everyone together.
And the cat just fell from the top of the mast of the ship. So the capybara is pushing him underneath to get away from him. He's just like, it's okay. But they're all a family, and they're all sticking together to try and stay safe. The secretary bird's sleeping. And if you've seen the film, you know what's coming next. But let's go to our mental health reflection, and then we'll do our call to action if you want to read this out. When life feels overwhelming, like the flood and flow, you can't control every current, but you can choose how you navigate. Sometimes it's about finding the calm in the chaos, like a capybara. Or if you want to read our this is like, so wait, let me see where we are in the film. We're about, oh my god, we're like 20-ish minutes left. So we're about like an hour and 4 minutes.
So anyway, everyone, thanks for listening. Join us for part 2. We'll talk about the rest of the film and kind of debrief. We'll talk about like symbolism, the ending of Flow, also like the emotional takeaways, because obviously there's no dialogue in this.
And this is very heightened emotion right now.
Yes. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram, Corvids and Coffee, and then share your thoughts. What character can you relate to? And then don't forget to review or share the episode with a friend, especially if you're trying to get somebody to watch this movie or know somebody who loves this movie. So we'll see you in the next part.
But yeah, as always, stay caffeinated, stay curious, and stay tuned. Bye, guys.
Bye.